What is going on, YouTube? PPS here, YouTube play of the day. It is the 19th of February. First time coming on here since Saturday. Obviously had two spots on Saturday. I did cash both. Had 3-0 day on that day. If you follow me over on Twitter, you're able to cash in on our UFC bet as well. Plus money spot there on inside the distance bet, as well as finally getting Memphis right. We got Memphis right yesterday as well. With the first half over. I played both first half and full game, and it was pretty easy, pretty fun bet when you have a team score 50 in the first half and you only need 73. It's tough when you can game log look at prior matchups, but you guys got to look at home road, stuff like that, because that SMU first game against Memphis was it was terrible. It barely even touched 60. And then we see almost 100 points in that second game. So Memphis defense obviously hasn't shirked up at all. Should expect to see some more points in their games as well. Rolled with first half Gonzaga, first half Wright State. Wright State was probably the easiest bet of the weekend. They scored like 51, 52. They had 20 points in the first 8 minutes. Gonzaga comes through for us against an awful Pacific team, scored 100 on them. But Pacific did cover the spread. So shout out Pacific for coming through. If you're 30.5 was their spread there, and they did cover. I think they lost by 26. So, hey, coming through. So we moved 20 games over 500. 16.44 units, guys. Every single one of those obviously here for free. If you guys could, please share. Please hit that like and subscribe button. It means a lot. Hopefully we can continue giving out winners for you guys. And I'll be going right back to a first half bet. I'm going to go back to first half, but I'm going to go with Charleston. We're heading over to Charleston. They're at home against William and Mary. You can see it right here. If you do not have first half total, I would take their full game team total. I like both. Charleston is a team I used to back last year a lot. Haven't bet this conference much as a whole too often this year. But let's kind of get into it a little bit. So first off, Charleston always plays with pace, always a good offense. They're 78th in adjusted offense, 46th in adjusted tempo. So obviously going to move the ball quick, and they're going to run and gun. They're playing against William and Mary, who, when we look at William and Mary, they're not good at all. They play slow, 344 of 362 in adjusted defense. Their defense is absolutely atrocious. But what I did like to see was the few pace up spots they were willing to run. We saw an 84-83 game in the first matchup between these two guys. I also think that they're willing to run with these teams that will push them. So looking at their games, there's not many in the CAA that will run up there, right? I mean, you can look here. Townsend not going to run. Delaware's not very fast. Elon is decent in top 100 in adjusted tempo. Richmond put up 88 on these guys. I think they haven't had to really see this type of play too often. Just looking at Charleston in their first matchup with these guys, I don't look a ton into it, but I do look at the pace here. 60 shot attempts for Charleston, ton of fast break points, 32 points in the paint. I think that's going to be the most important spot there. They shot their year-long average from three-point line, nothing crazy there. But 22 free throw attempts and 26 free throw attempts for both sides. I think the offensive rebounds will be there, 10 for Charleston in that one. They scored 44 in that first half. Or 41 in that first half, and they were losing. But now they're at home, right? Let's look at their home numbers. Charleston, the reason why I want to go first half here is because Charleston is 21st in the country in first half scoring. They're about 60 or 70th in second half scoring. So I do want to really pick on that spot. Charleston, 39.2 points per game on the season, over 40 at home. So I obviously like that number as well. If you want to look at just full points per game, obviously they're towards the top. They're not playing too many good teams. The teams they played are not great, but they're still averaging over 80 points per game. I think the size is really going to be what the issue is here. I just talked about 32 points in the paint. They have Ben Burnham, 6'7" junior. They also, their leading scorer, I'm not even going to try. His name's Ante Brazovic. 6'10", Croatian guy, is their leading scorer, actually. So I just don't think there's going to be any guy here that's going to be able to match up. They have 1-6-7 guy in their starting lineup. And outside of that, I am really not worried about anything in the paint. William & Mary is bottom 20 in the country in three-point percentage allowed as well. Charleston doesn't shoot a ton of them, but if they're going to double down on these post guys, I just have no – I don't know how they're going to slow down Charleston. I really don't, and I think they're more willing to do this run and gun, as they already saw. They almost beat them doing that in that first game. So we saw that first game play 85 points in the first half and only 82 in the second half. So I want to go right after this first half number. They were losing in the first half in their first matchup, still covered this number. And I think with Charleston at home, they're able to just absolutely go crazy here. Hopefully they get up big. They have a decent spot this weekend. And I think Thursday they also have a game as well. I believe they have a matchup with Delaware Thursday and then at Townsend on the 24th. So 2-3 game week. It's tough, but I think you got to run it up early, get those starters some rest in the second half. So I'm going to be on the Charleston first half number. I think this is a pretty good spot. So, all right, guys, only one spot today, not a huge slate. I'll be looking at other stuff, obviously, for the VIP card. 4 straight days of winning over there, which is very, very happy. I'm happy to have the winners over here as well. 52 and 32, 16.44 units on the season. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow and excited to keep this rolling. So have a good one, guys, and best of luck on your bets.